Hello my people, how are you doing? Compliments of the season. Welcome to today's tutorial. I'm trusting that you all are doing fine. Okay, I'm still your friend, the needle woman, and you are highly welcome to my tutorial. If you are new, please, I will appreciate that you subscribe before you leave, and also ensure to tap on the notification bell so that once I upload, you're able to get notified. So today, with these 6 yards of Ankara fabric, we're going to be making a straight cut fitted dress here with a slanted shoulder. Okay, so quickly we'll get started. I'll be cutting the lower part first of all. I folded into 2 and also fold again, making it into 4 with a zipper allowance of 1.5 inches. Okay, and once again, I appreciate all of you for your best wishes to my daughter. Thank you very much, and may you all be richly blessed. Okay, may you be celebrated accordingly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, now this is our starting line. Our starting line, that is waistline. Okay, this is the hip line, that is shoulder to hip, 9 inches below the waistline. Some actually are 8. It depends on the height of the person. You know, some people have very low hips, while some have very high and standard hips per se. Okay, so I'm going to be placing my waist measurement here, my hip measurement here. Okay, the waist circumference I'm working with divided into 4, 11.25. Hip circumference divided into 4, 12. Okay. I'm going to be adding 2.5 inches allowance to the waist, and to the hip I'll add 3 inches. Pardon me, I'll use my free hand. I don't know where we kept our hip curve, all of us. Okay, now if you like, you can measure your waist to what is it called, your knee, just this way, just to get the fitting. Okay, I'll use waist, I'll use 21. Okay, so now first I'm going to bring this hip measurement down to the waist to knee, this point. So I have 15 inches here, which is also here, but I will take away 1.5 inches. Let me see. Sorry about the noise, please. Okay, here I said I'll be taking away 1.5 inches here. 1.5 inches. Okay. If you have your hip curve, better for you. Okay. Then at the hemline, remember I said I'm going to add about 5 or 6 inches at the hemline to augment the length. At the hemline, I'm going to add, let me see, 1, 2, 3. I will add 3 inches at the hemline, please, just to make sure the length is okay. Okay, so at the hemline, I should take away about 2 inches. So here I'm taking away 2 inches. So I removed 2 inches here. So when I'm done adding, I will now move inside a little bit. I would have loved for it to reach 3 inches, but because I'm adding, okay, that's why I'm using 2. Okay. So I'll cut this one first. Okay. So what is left now is to add. So when I add here, I will now take 1 more inch inwards, okay, and connect it to end somewhere. So now the upper part is a princess bustier. You quickly get right on it. I'll cut the front first of all before we go to the back. The half length I'm working with is 17 inches. It is not part of it. Okay. So I measure 17 inches. This is 17 inches. I'm going to be adding 1 inch for the joining allowance. So now we have 18 inches. Okay. Shoulder is 16 inches. Okay. Then I take 3 inches for shoulder slope. Then at the shoulder here, I take 1 inch, which is here already. Okay. Remember, we don't need the second line, please. Next is to take a shoulder to bust 12.5. I'll add half an inch for, when I take it from here, I'll use half an inch. So we have 13 inches. Under bust is 15.5. Bust span is 4, and the allowance for sewing is 1/4. I normally use 1/4 for joining here, so I'm measuring 4 1/4. 4 1/4. Okay. I'm taking it slowly so that everybody, even newcomers, will blend. Now, having done this, I'll come down here by, this is 4 inches, but I've already taken 1 inch. I hope you remember, for my shoulder slope here. What I'd like to do to now connect this line to this shoulder. Okay. notch. With this, we will now cut the two sides. Alright, so for the sides to the front, as usual, you have to place, making sure you have up to 3 inches on this side. Okay, make sure it is up to 3 inches to be on the safe side. Okay, so next will be to notch the point where to mark the point where you have the notch, please. So we have 2 notches, one here and one here, and I've marked it. And then I'm going to trace out the pattern of this center front. Next is to measure the armhole. I'm marking 8.5 inches. Okay. Remember, we're going to adjust this later. 8.5 inches. Next will be to now place the bust measurement. 45 divided into 4. 11.25. Like I always say, even if you don't add allowance, the bulge at this other side will give you the allowance you need. Okay, and then the waist measurement 39, 9.75, allowance of 3 inches. Okay, now you know this is the shoulder to bust, this is the under bust. Okay, on the shoulder to bust, I'm going to measure 2.5 inches away from the shoulder to bust. Okay, but if you don't have a big bust, you can use 2 inches. Okay, you can use 1.75 inches, it depends. Okay, but because this bust is big, 2.5 is okay, 3 equal is okay. You know, there are people that have bust but they don't really have breast, but they have big shoulder and this upper part is equally big. Okay, so you consider all of these things. So I'm going to connect this to this point and connect this one to the under bust. Okay, so now this is it for the side. I will then cut. So I'll go ahead and cut the second one. As for the neck, we'll do that later, not now. Alright, so for the back, I have a zipper allowance of 1.5 inches. Shoulder is 16, that is 8. 3 inches standard for shoulder slope. And on the shoulder here, I come down by 1 inch. Okay. Armhole 8.5 inches. So I'll now place the bust and the waist measurements. Bust 11.25, allowance of 2.5 inches, waist 9.75, allowance of, I'll use 4 inches. Let me just use princess dart for this back. Okay, bust span is 4 inches. My sewing allowance is quarter, so I'm measuring 4.25. Okay, I hope you are seeing it. Okay, eight and half divided into 2 is 4.25. That's where I'll be connecting my princess dart. You can actually come up if you like. Oh, you can come up. Alright, but I always like for it to be at the midpoint. Now if you cut your armhole this way, it is going to short here because of this princess dart. Okay, so what you will need to do is to move up this point by, normally I go by 1, but you can do 1.5 so that you trim off the excess. So you come up, okay, and then change the what is it called, the armhole. I hope you see it now. So we're no longer using this one, we are now using this one. Let me cut it so that you understand what I'm saying. So you now see it, you see how it is, so that by the time you are done joining, you can now remove the excess here. If you don't do it like this, when you are joining these two together, this place will short. Most times you get it this way, you see it, and you will now have to go and start making amendments. But if you do it this way, you get it perfect, so that when you are joining, you remove whatever that is left here. Okay. Alright. Now one more thing is left. Let me keep it this way because most times I don't understand this my camera. Whether it is the way I place it, I don't know. Okay. Now the next thing I will do will be to, in order to remove that bulge that is normally here. I've never shown it on my video, but that's what I've been doing, but today I remembered it. First I'm going to take away I'm going to take away 1 inch from the length here, okay, and then towards the zip I will take 0.75. Okay, so now I'm going to connect this one like this. This is what I normally do behind the camera, but today I remembered it. and this one. Okay, so this now will take away, you know, that normally that bulge that is always at the back here. If you have the problem of always encountering it, do this and it will disappear, so that when you are putting your zip, you will still maintain your 1.5 inch. I hope you understand. If your zipper allowance is 1 inch and you took 1/2 inch here, when you are adding your zip, you make sure you maintain the 1 inch here. Okay, so for this one also, trim off. Yes. So now what is left now is the neck. Here you now consider where you want the slanting to be, either on the left or on the right. Okay, so I used pin to hold it, but what I will be removing here is 6 inches. Okay, so but I don't think it will be enough and wise for me to do that now. You see, it's not even up to 6, so I think I should leave it. When I attach this and this, we'll now come back and remove it. Okay, but before then I'll just cut the lining.